you go. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our new webinar dealing right in the first place with the Ethernet adapter from Gamry, giving the availability to access the instrument, which is USB driven and transformed to the Ethernet network here. I can access over Wi-Fi. Pretty cool, isn't it? The basic content of this webinar is this Gamry Interface 1010T entry-level instrument inside the compartment of the starter pack. The main content of the starter pack is this screen-printed electrode holder and a few screen-printed electrodes. You can use, or single use in an experiment for laboratory courses, for example, for teaching. And you can undergo a cyclic voltammetry experiment, you can undergo a chronoamperometry experiment. And what's also included is the pain test cell. You can use for, as it says, pain test, so you can characterize coatings by EAS, but you can also use them to characterize flat specimen or metal pons in contact with electrolyte and characterize them in regards of their corrosion rate or their corrosion behavior in the special electrolyte. Furthermore, we have this rotating disc electrode cell you can use for hydrodynamically controlled experiments with a rotating electrode, and you partially turn off mass transport limitation by steering the electrolyte with your electrode itself and create a homogeneous fluid dynamic at your working electrode. That's possible with this cell. Furthermore, we have the para cell, which is a symmetrically arranged or developed cell with similar electrode areas to enable you to make galvanic corrosion experiments or electrochemical noise measurements. Available also with a glass cell with a temperature controlled and a glass body with a jacketed one you can use to run your experiments even temperature stabilized. Then we have here the upgrade somehow of this fundamental research cell, which is the Dr. Bob cell. You can use with purge tube to remove oxygen from your electrolyte, for example. You have an inert platinum electrode, you have an isolated counter electrode to remove gaseous compounds from the counter electrode. So a very versatile fundamental research cell. We also have this Eurocell, which is a temperatured one as well, with a jacketed cell body. And we have as well the RAMAN cell for spectroelectrochemistry in combination with a RAMAN spectrometer. And we have it for UV vis as well, to broaden the range of wavelengths. And we finally have here the battery holders to characterize either 18650 cylindrical cells or this 21700 cylindrical cell, the larger one, and also the pouch cell holder. And all of these cells can be combined nicely with the entry-level package and the Interface 1010T instrument. Amazing, isn't it? As a main component of the starter kit with the Gamry Interface 1010T basic instrument is the screen-printed electrode holder and the screen-printed electrodes. I want to show you a simple experiment with a prepared solution I have here, which contains potassium hexacyanoferrate. You can use to oxidize and reduce iron from iron 2 plus to iron 3 plus and back to iron 2 plus. So a very nice and predictable redox reaction you can visualize and characterize with your electrochemical setup. And you can also use it for your laboratory course to demonstrate the students the background of the fundamental experiment towards any unknown electroactive species to begin with. Now we are almost at the end of our webinar, and I want to close this with a rather sophisticated setup, meaning the load power supply interface, which is basically based on the interface 1010 instrument again, but it's needed to have the E version, so the highest configuration of this instrument can be combined with the LPI accessory kit, which is this one. You connect it to the front connector, and you connect it with the power supply from the back side, and you have this box, and you can connect your high voltage battery pack or high voltage fuel cell or fuel cell stack with a total cell voltage of up to 1000 volt, 100 volt or 10 volt. Here we have the 1 kilovolt version. You connect with these high voltage cables, and what you also need is the electronic load or power supply. You can connect with these analog ins and outs to tell the power supply to provide a certain AC current, and the Gamry instrument reads out the potential feedback of the fuel cell or battery pack, and therefore you can characterize it by EIS. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your attention and your interest. I see you later in the next webinar, and I hope you have a nice rest of the day. Bye.